So I read my fucking this document here, but I said, oh yeah, I'll wait until I meet people in the streets to read them part two, the stuff that I've written myself. As you can see, this is the back of the paper of the last page, and that's where you gotta sign your signatures. So I'm sitting here stoned, wondering what's going on. There's that cartoon Futurama with Fry. What's it mean? I got to get fried to the death, and I'm either in the morgue or a hearse, since that's the only choice we supposedly get. It's telling me something about a spirit passage. The only predicament is it's the past. Maybe it says we go back to where we come from, to where we began. We have a complex of three things. Two way of lives. There's what we know naturally, and then there's religion. Context of living, religion's contract of the living in human nature. It's that we will be looked after by the world if we look after it, and on it you could live both on it you could live both concepts or just the one. But the third is the imagination, which is entirely up to your individual with how you feed and grow your consciousness. But I can show you where to start in your awareness of this document. Magic within itself we are, what space is made up of, and what is beneath what we can see and understand. What's out is what's in. Messy writing, so talking about how the passage of time in your talking about the passage of time in your connections diminishes. I'm not sure on anybody else, but with me, I think that the pyramids teach you what you need to know and learn as if it's a force of empowerment. Like conspiracy theorists and that, pyramid charts. But they take that force back and feed off your self-value to spread that awareness with the whole world. So the pyramid takes the value back and recycles that information with any oil used as fuel to prove the road for the safety of freedom. So the agreement to sustain to the limits of society, so nobody can ever take your privilege. If society's not broken, because it all starts with you. So you try to throw shade because they always notice dark things in sunlight. But when it gets dark, the dark things make you live blind to the light of equality. There's 24 hours in a day, but the night goes quick since time flies when you're having fun. That's the wildlife we have on the bud. Something you can't see coming, just feel the presence of. It's villainous. The thief of the night, Joker, and the thief of the night, Joker and the thief. What happens if you notice would make you feel obnoxious or victimized without the suffering, but with the trauma. Without the suffering, but with the trauma. Like a hard lesson is learnt, and it doesn't even need to be a mistake, just maybe somewhat of a resentment to society. Ultimately, you need to know more than you know. When it comes down to being a decent human being, the future is now. It's like I was born right at the moment technology took off in societies all around the world. Like I grew with it. And after they went to the moon, as if there was a tidal wave effect in our consciousnesses, when our focus was on the moon so closely. Since we are bodies of water, and that's why we advance in technology so quick. So that makes you wonder, where does the moon go at the end of every cycle? Go figure. When we're told not to get lifts with strangers. Growing up, go figure when we're told not to get lifts with strangers. Growing up. But how can anything be stranger than what I've just told you? Earlier on how the world really is, what can be stranger than what I've just told you earlier on about how the world really is? They say mad things happen and we don't know why. But what would be too much to understand for you? With how the internet is now, it's pretty well integrated from our visual perspective and understanding. We get stuck on our phones around the clock as if it's a black box recorder on your biology and mind makeup to grant us the freedom to be not where we are while we are trapped in a box. Long distance communication, so it sounds a lot like interspace travel conditioning. But really, is that real? Maybe wherever the moon goes has some of the answers. You'd think. If all of the other stuff is a lie, I just want to know who is sending this image. Because really, how can anything be more than a thought or concept if it wasn't already real? If time is the way I've explained that, would you even make you speculate? Would you even would you even speculate on what the sun actually is and how we were created in the light? And I suggest the planet might be universal because you find them everywhere, but Earth is the DNA. So what would you say Earth is? Just a concept of light? For all we know, we could be the gases in the Milky Way. May as well say we are, and space itself, the eye, is the black hole. Our organs are from the inner workings of space, since if we could see our organs in front of us, we would either be dying or dead. As if something pulls at your gravity of your mind's bearing, the somatic sensation, but the whole world isn't mental. The whole world isn't mental sometimes. It's the visual, not what you can perceive or understand. It's something that just happens, we don't know why. So the eye harbors a black hole. That's why this is photogenic. Just where is the other side? So that means something is not real. Tobacco or marijuana. But marijuana is mentioned in the Bible silently in the term edifying. That's how I understand it. But that's something I think is under reincarnation. But since it's involved in religion, that must be more the pyramids. That must be how we should think it works, being human. But the Egyptians or the pyramids would be key to life, since I've explained something out of the imagination on the purpose and location, supporting the opinion that they connect to the planet's poles to control the weather, and the planet's citizens, which at no time was 11 men, and the planets and the citizens, which at that time was 11 men and 11 women, known as primordial gods. You just need to ask yourself, why is there no city but Why is there no city built on top of the pyramids? Are they even property or dots? Are they even property, or does it look like, or does it look like a fake monument to hide its real purpose? I thought it was a hospital because if my thoughts on the subject are correct, maybe this planet was a barren one with oil on it. If that's true, what divides the two? So there must be more going on than what we can see, because it's a different reality in the same world. So let's say some people in this world are a make-up of the imagination. Theoretically, we are all theoretically we all are. It's hard to explain, but I seem to have the suspicion that we are all imagination, but after so long they force us to become vulnerable, making us this so-called making us this so-called making us this so-called real. So are they a hospital? For some, they can't be the center of attention. Since nobody likes people knowing their business, what is it we don't witness? We don't witness a jet nose diving into space, just going straight up in the sky. That can't be my problem. I'm just one man in the real world. Fuck, I write messy. In the real world, opinionated to be wild or uncontrollable, not manifest by your mind in any way when it's dependent on the occasion and time. I admit social media could be more of a problem than first thought, but we all need to feel a part of a society to feel like we fit in. But what is it we are getting into? So if this is true, does that mean only tobacco conforms this place? A crazy thing would be if the tar made oil, but given the circumstances already, how can we shrug it off? It's definitely plausible if it is true in what I'm saying. The question is, where do we go to next? Where do we go next? Damn that.